We have to have a quick conversation about the BS that you're currently seeing on the media about the Trump shooting at the golf course because there's a few questions that nobody seemed to have asked. And there's a couple other things that are so frustrating. We had to have this little talk. As you know, I did personal protection for many years. I taught it for many years, not in the government purview, but I know how to make few assets work and go a long way because that's how personal protection in civilian life works. You have a lot less than the government. You don't have the $1 billion budget the Secret Service have to still not do their damn job, which they are not. And when I see them go on TV patting their back, oh, we just did a great job, and see the Democrat establishment in the media patting them on the back, oh, they did a great job. This time they stepped up. They got the guy in time. Bullshit. They failed. They fucked up really, really good. They failed epically. There was a guy with a rifle sitting 300 to 500 yards from where Trump was playing golf. And he was sitting there for 12 hours with a rifle, waiting, undiscovered. How exactly is that not a failure? Okay, one of the agents, she was actually a female agent, good for her, all respect. She saw the rifle sticking through the fence and opened fire with her handgun. And one thing you never ever want to be is the one with a handgun getting into a shootout with somebody with a long gun. Although, okay, we'll be nice and say an SKS is a long gun. It is a rifle. And by the way, who within an hour of this assassination attempt told you it was an SKS that was been modified to take magazines? I did. While the media is saying AK-47, AK, because they have no idea what they're talking about, it was an SKS that had been modified to take external magazines, because regular SKS only have an internal magazine. How do I know? Because I have one. And mine have been modified to take magazines because I wanted to try to do something in a close defense purview. I want to see if I could. It is a short range rifle. It's not something that I would not have brought this rifle to a shooting at 300 to 500 yards. Absolutely not. It's the wrong tool for the job. And I would show you, except I think it'd be very poor visuals at this time to sit here waving a gun around just to show you the details of it. I don't think that would be appropriate at this time. But one day I'll bring it to the range and show you how accurate or not it is, because I actually do have a scope on mine. I guess my gunsmith thought that would be hilarious, because putting a scope on any kind of a AK or SKS weapon, like, yeah, okay, maybe a red dot, but still, of course, if this is the actual rifle he brought, I'm just saying there's been some indication it might be a planted rifle. Why would you not take the rifle with you when you flee? Even if you're under fire, you take the rifle with you, because if you are discovered under fire, you can't be certain that you might not be engaged down the road. And it was a complete coincidence that a civilian saw him and flagged him and took a picture of his car that he could actually have gotten caught. The Secret Service didn't do this. They didn't. Where's the outer perimeter Secret Service? Where's the cordon? Oh, but you know, they only do a few minutes or 10, 15, 20 minutes in advance that Trump was going to go play golf. Number one, that's horseshit. Number two, if the Secret Service didn't know he was going to play golf, how come the shooter knew 12 hours in advance? Actually, he flew out from Hawaii the day before, somehow. Although a lot of interesting stuff has come out about this guy. He's a bit of a whack job from what I can see and see him talking. He's a bit of a lunatic. And given the Democrat and the media rhetoric and hateful rhetoric against Trump, inciting that he should be assassinated for the past 8 years, it doesn't take much of an impressionable lunatic like him or many, many others waiting in the wings, because this is going to happen again. And they're going to be successful. They will manage to kill Trump if he doesn't get better security. That's terrifying because that's what America is now. We are a banana republic where the seating government can use the Justice Department and the law enforcement intelligence agencies to go after their political opponents one way or another, or, as we've seen for years, in the quiet, have them murdered. And now, again, we're almost there. They don't even have to get a guy to do it themselves, Hillary. They can just wait for one of the whack jobs they've incited over all these years, citing that Trump is a threat to democracy. I always thought it was interesting that the party who keeps citing everyone else as a threat to democracy doesn't allow their own voters to vote for their candidate. The party who says freedom of speech is a threat to democracy, knowing that freedom of speech is the very foundation for democracy. And just to point out once again that America is not a democracy, we are a republic. But anyway, let's not get it right because, well, the press isn't, and most of the politicians aren't either. So why should I try to get it right? Oh, because that's why I'm here, to try to get it right for you and try to ask questions like, how did the guy know that Trump was going to play golf? How? Is there a mold inside the Secret Service? Did somebody tip him off? The guy also doesn't seem to have a whole lot of money. He's kind of broke with a bad company out there, a couple of felony convictions. How did he have the money to fly around, fly to Ukraine, fly to different places, make promises that he probably couldn't financially back? He talks a lot, like I said. I think he's more of a whack job than there's an intelligence connection to him. But he's certainly a known entity. He's been on the media plenty of times. But how did he get out there? The media is asking questions about how did he manage to get, being a felon, how did he manage to get a rifle from Hawaii to Florida? And I will say, having flown with firearms, long guns, plenty of times, okay, I have all the permits and I'm not a felon and so on. So I don't have the impression that flying with your firearm is that hard or that you are that checked. They will check the firearm. You'll lock it up. They'll in the box. They'll check the box. They'll check that it's there, what it is. You hand it in. They hand it back to you when you land at your destination. I don't think they necessarily check the serial numbers. I don't think they will go in and do a background check on each passenger who's flying with a firearm. This is America. We fly with firearms all the time. So for him to have a long gun in a case, flying with it, I don't think that would be impossible. However, if rules have changed, then I'll start wondering, how did he get the rifle there? Body armor, ceramic plates, not a problem to fly with. Of course, these are fairly expensive, pricey things. The SKS is not an expensive rifle at all. The modification cost a bit. Still, it's getting a cheap firearm with its serial number ground off, which is a little weird. Obviously, he got it on the black market from somebody, somewhere, something. That's not where I would look. Of course, if it is the actual rifle that was found on the scene that was brought to bear, but he didn't open any fire. He backed off immediately when he was under fire by handgun. But Trump was within range. He was within range of that rifle. And everybody knew this was a unsafe spot. Everybody knew this was vulnerability because media and civilians have been standing along this fence taking pictures of Trump for years. So they've even showed where and how he was accessible. If you can take a picture of him with a long lens, you can take a shot at him. So that's, again, Secret Service. They knew that this is a vulnerability. Did they have a drone? Did they have a 12-year-old kid with a drone? Maybe a drone with infrared. Spend an extra $1,000,000. You have $3 billion budget or something outrageous. You don't have a drone to fly over your advanced team before Trump gets to the golf course. And I'll tell you, if I had a client that wanted to spontaneously go somewhere and do something that had a credible threat, I would say, absolutely, sir, ma'am, hang on for a minute. Let me just check. I would make the calls to the restaurant, check the route, just make a quick assessment. Okay, the restaurant has a table for us. Not, of course, not in the client's name, I'm an idiot, but I would make, so just make sure. And if the client had to wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour while I was checking the route, the road, the car, everything, then that's what they'll do. Because we're not going anywhere if I can't guarantee you safety. So I guarantee you that Trump knows this, having dealt with security and Secret Service for a long time. He knows that just give them a heads up as soon as you make up your mind, let them know. They'll clear everything. Presumably they'll clear everything. They're supposed to clear everything. Go there in advance and go, all right, fine. Everything's fine. And that also means a perimeter check. That means walking through. You're not doing the perimeter check while the client's there. This was so close. Just the agent, yeah, she happened to see the rifle poking out. What if this moron had been in a $50 ghillie suit and had been covered up and have masked the muzzle of the rifle? We would be having a different conversation. And that's what I'm scared that's going to happen next time. These idiots learn from these massive failures. They see how easy it is. And someone's going to succeed if Trump doesn't start dishing out some money on some real security, some real operators who know how to keep him safe. Maybe it's time to hire Blackwater, because this is completely outrageous. And of course, the Secret Service just posted all the promotions. Everybody got a promotion in the protective detail, also from before. Are you kidding me? And they're standing there patting their backs. And they were, by happenstance, somebody who's fairly incompetent, because he wasn't a soldier. He'd been in the military before. And like I said, he was a bit of Yahoo. Stuck his rifle out before he's ready to shoot. Passed. Excuse me. If you know anything about how a sniper would work, if you're, for instance, just an example that's easy to understand. If I was to shoot somebody out of a window, I would not put them, my rifle's not going to be sticking out of the damn window. I'm going to be sitting in the back of the room where no one will see me. They won't see the muzzle blast. The bullet will travel through the room, through the window at the target. I'm not sticking the rifle out the window. I'm not even going to open the window. Maybe I'll replace it with a little fake glass that would be, or foil or something. To not deflect the window by breaking the glass. But you don't do that. So he didn't know what he was doing. And that was, what if he had known what he was doing? What if one of the Iranian hitmen? They've been trying to put money in getting Trump killed for a long time. And what are the Secret Service? They're saying, well, he's not the sitting president, so he only got the security that the Secret Service deemed necessary. Well, clearly, these people are government agencies that are all vested and tied together in not liking him. Thank God that DeSantis, the governor of Florida, actually came out and said, no, we're going to do our own investigation, because having the FBI or the Justice Department, agencies that have been out to get Trump for the past many years, having them do an investigation, it doesn't really seem very trustworthy. And it's not. It's not. The Secret Service is utterly incompetent. They haven't learned a damn thing from the last time. And they just telegraphed that to every other idiot out there who has now been brainwashed to hate Trump for things that he honestly hasn't done. He may be a lot of things, whether you like him or not, but the majority of the hyperbole that they claim of him, it really isn't true. Like when Kamala Harris came out and said, oh, he sent an armed mob to the January 6th. Bullshit. No one had a gun. No one in January 6th had a gun. It's the only unarmed insurrection in history, just to pull out one. And then you have all of the others that are saying, oh, a threat to democracy. Funny how they won't take any responsibility. They just keep fueling the fire. And it's going to happen. They're going to have their way if something doesn't happen. One clear up from, there's a story that's been circulating that this shooter and the shooter from from Pennsylvania, they had been in communication. That is a fake post that was altered. So that's not true. There's also, just a few hours ago, there was a claim that there was explosives found at a rally in New York State where Trump was. That appears to also be a false rumor, although the police is talking to somebody who claimed to have a bomb dog. Not entirely sure what the situation is, but again, things are coming to a head, and I hope I'm wrong, but there's a lot at stake for our democracy if we allow our political opponents to, or though, if we allow our politicians and contenders to be murdered. One thing is that they're in truest style of fascism and communism, using the apparatus and the media to destroy an opponent in best banana republic style, whether you like him or not, using the intelligence services, the Justice Department, to go after them. And if that fails, you incite for them to be murdered. And eventually, they're going to hire a professional. You know, the way Hillary usually does it. They're going to hire a professional, or they're going to ignore the fact that the Iranians are doing it. And then they're going to have him killed. And that's truly at the death of democracy. Anyway, just before you buy into the BS of what a great job the Secret Service did, they failed. Miserably failed. Disgustingly failed. They all need to go. They have learned nothing. They haven't even used the most basic counter surveillance techniques. A drone? I mean, what, they couldn't hire a guy from Ukraine on vacation with his drone? Seriously? I mean, we send the Ukrainians enough weaponry over there. Maybe they could, send us one of their drones back, because apparently the Secret Service can't afford to buy one. We don't have a Secret Service agent who can fly a drone. Maybe there's a 12-year-old kid who can help them. Come on, dude. Jesus. Anyway, that is my update. And there will be a lot more coming. And I hope I never have to get to the update where we talk about how President Trump was assassinated, because I really, really don't want to do that. And I hope I'm wrong on that one. Take care, everybody. Be safe.